is racist, though. He loves white nationalists, which is a weird term for a Nazi. Calling a Nazi a white nationalist is like calling a pedophile a kid friend. Or Harvey Weinstein a ladies' man. Which isn't really fair. He also likes plants. Very resourceful. Like, she burns fats and then she uses that ash to create a perfect smoky eye. Like, maybe she's born with it, maybe it's lies. It's probably lies.
No, I'm a lot of pain.
Why?
I played in the Steve Nash soccer thing and I got really messed up.
Oh no.
Like really, like I need to go see a doctor. Not even a question. You know me, I'm like, it'll get better.
You played in the Steve Nash Rumble in the Jungle. What's it called? Showdown in Chinatown.
Oh no, it's not the Showdown.
That's
Charity
right.
Shield.
April.
So
Showdown's in June.
Showdown's in June, and so basically what's happened is Showdown is very, very popular, and a lot of people always ask, "How can I be a part of Showdown? How can I actually play in Showdown?" Obviously, it's one game, and you got a bunch of people. It's limited amount of time, a limited amount of actual bodies you can have there, so they try to think up of a second event that they could open a little bit more for people to participate. And the MVP of the Charity Shield tournament, is which they created, then gets to play in the Showdown game. So, I've been bugging Jenny Miller, who's she runs the Steve Nash Foundation, bugging her for years. Like, man, you need to get me out there. And oh man, you guys just don't know, and like really pumping myself up. So they do this Charity Shield thing. He said, well, are you going to play in this? And I said, sure. So, put down my donation and went out there and, got the whole, they hooked me up with all the gear, nice, sweet pair of cleats. And I get out there and I'm feeling, obviously I don't feel physically like I used to, but feeling good enough out there. Playing, score a goal, we win our first game. I'm like, all right. But midway through the first game, I sprained my ankle. Sprained my ankle. And you ask yourself, how'd you sprain your ankle? Well, it's quite simple. I moved to the wing. I stopped. The ball was coming my way. I trapped the ball, put my foot down, and instantly rolled my ankle. And so I managed to pass the ball away before I completely collapsed and grabbed my ankle, right? So then I get up. I'm like, I tie it up. The lace is nice and tight. I said, you know what? Ain't the first time you rolled your ankle playing a sport. Just keep the shoe on and grin and bear through it. Throughout the course of the game, I'm taking dives left and right, man. I'm hitting the ground hard. On one of the falls, I accidentally, my fist was clenched. I end up falling on my clenched fist on the ground. So it was exactly like getting punched in the face. Hard, bell rung, everything. And so the game ends. We win that game. We have like a 30-minute break before our next game. Like, cool. I come back, and I'm also very tired because I'm not used to running around that much, right? So I offer to my teammates to say, hey, I'll play goalie, while I rest up. They're like, cool. Everything's going great. I'm making saves. Everything's cool. Ball's rolling towards me. I bend over to pick it up and immediately go into a massive back spasm. I'm talking about like from the base of my back all the way up. So like I managed to like get rid of the ball and just go, and like try to stand up straight because it's the only position that doesn't hurt. And next thing you know, I'm getting a pain in my chest. So at some point I'm like, I can't move. I literally can't move, so I have to sub out. They've got luckily they have some athletic trainers on site, right? But not before I tried to lay down on the ground and stretch up on my own. Of course, I lay down in a puddle. So now they said, when you go to athletic trainers, go to trainers. I'm drenched wet, like literally the back of my head all the way down to my back of my feet. All of it's water, right?
Hold on.
Go to the trainer.
Yeah.
Go to the trainer. Trainer legit works on me for like an hour. At first he thinks, he's like, it's a massive back spasm and it's gone up to your lat and your lat curves to the front and that's what is causing the chest pain. But then after working for like 45 minutes and icing and stuff, he's like, no, I'm beginning to think this is a different thing. He said, I think there's this muscle underneath the pectoral muscle called the serratus or something like that. And he said, I think you might have a tear there. And like after an hour, all the way through the lunch break, by the way, he tells me, I don't think you should play again today. So I didn't play him. I went to the little staging area where they had, the event was sponsored by Guinness. So I had myself a pint.
So wait, the chest pain was a tear of some sort?
Muscle tear.
Okay, not a heart issue.
Not a heart issue.
Did you think it was a heart issue?
It wasn't hard. No, because it was on the right side of my body.
Oh, okay.
If it was on the left side of my body, I would have legit said, I think I'm dying. I would have just straight up.
You're old, man. Stuff like that happens when you get up there with us, bro.
But it's just like, here's the thing. I'm like, there's people way older than me, and they move around gingerly. I'm like,
oh my God,
man.
Yeah, Steve Nash himself is just, I find him inspiring and obnoxious at the same time.
Oh no, he's
because I'm like, come on, man.
He saw me on the ground and laughed.
I wish I had that.
And then he said, "Have yourself some Guinness Profen."
I wish I had that type of mentality that someone like he has, but that's why he was a professional athlete.
Yeah, I mean, high level professional athlete. Royal Ivy was a professional athlete. This dude. That's right. This dude's a Hall of Famer, man.
Oh, he'll live to like 130, Steve Nash, I'll be like, Jesus, got an interesting crew today. Black Trey lost his phone.
What?
Black Trey lost his phone. I don't know where he is, what he's doing. Mariano, of course, is dealing with some things. Waz is apparently on another podcast.
There you
go. So I do have a crew. Oh, John Jervay. What's up, John?
Yo.
Will Brown from Bahrain.
What's that?
Hey, what's up, Will?
And I believe Kev the Barber is here. Or he was here, making a lot of noise.
Well, we got a lot to get to, though. So
I saw you. I heard you were checking out the Imus thing.
I was watching it. Yeah, like given that he's talking about people getting murdered and like possible crimes and stuff, I would say it's harsher than Michelle Wolf. Also, Don Imus, correct me if I'm wrong, Jay, you might know this. I know he's a radio guy. Does he have any background in comedy, or was he just like a radio?
I don't know. In fact, if he had his history was through comedy, but at that point he was kind of at the top of his game, which was
he was. Most people will probably remember him from the whole Rutgers women's basketball team nappy-headed hose controversy. He's always been kind of like a guy who rides that line as far as
he's a habitual line stepper.
Yes, he's definitely a habitual line stepper in that regard. I'm looking through his Wikipedia page, that great source of accurate information. It doesn't look like he ever was an actual stand-up comedy. He was just kind of a radio guy.
But he
was a humorist. Like he would go for some funnies. Well, but his career started on radio.
I'd never even heard of the White House Correspondents' dinner until he did it. I mean, this is a long time ago, 1996. I was a young fellow. But I don't even think people knew about it until that happened, right? It was kind of just
the one that.
Yes, I can't think of one that was before that one, and it was in the thing that he did was
Don Rickles do one. Am I tripping?
Perhaps.
I feel like Don Rickles did one.
Maybe for my generation, though, I was just like,
yeah, no, I mean, I get what you're saying.
And I think it might have been a bit, more kind of playful, tongue in cheek, but Don Imus, of course, made light of the extramarital affairs of Bill Clinton, with Hillary Clinton right there, and it was very awkward.
Yeah,
and we all heard the president, in his obvious excitement, holler, "Go, baby!" And I remember commenting at the time, I bet that's not the first time he said that.
And
no, Don Rickles did Reagan's inauguration. He didn't do the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Because I remember watching him roast Reagan on YouTube. But that was not an inauguration. But I miss. And by the way, like that's a major difference there as well, is that Clinton and Hillary were right there as opposed to other presidents that didn't show up for the White House Correspondents' Dinner. So, and they seem to have a good sense of humor about it. Some of those jokes were kind of like, oh wow. I mean, it's not even, it wasn't. Look, I'm not gonna say I could see how they would be offended. I don't see this. This is where I'm a bad judge of these things, and where I'm going to take this conversation eventually. But first, Jade, did you find Don Imus's routine offensive?
No.
Like clutch your pearls.
No. I mean, it's hard to offend me, though, honestly. It's hard to offend me, I mean, even this one, I just found it funny.
No, this one was not offensive at all.
I found it funny, dude.
Yeah, that's the part I was shocked about.
I didn't even know who she was, dude.
No, I know she. I'll be honest with you. I didn't like her comedically
before.
Like I've seen her stand up on HBO. Yeah, I think it's her voice, to be honest. Her voice is just a little too annoying. And she does this thing where I don't want to say she explains the joke. She kind of did it in the dinner, but she has like these ad libs that she does after the joke. Like I don't know. Like she'll say the joke about like and that's why he's this and this. Ha ha! Everyone laughs, and they say, "Yeah, I don't know why he would do that."
Right.
So weird that he would do. She has this little thing. Yeah, she does it after the joke, kind of in almost a mumbly voice, which is hit or miss to me when she does it. Mm-hmm. But
so these dinners are basically roasts, and when it comes to roasts, I see.
Yeah, that was my question.
Yeah, exactly. No, there's no limits. No holds barred here.
Yeah, man. I mean, I've never seen people offended at a roast. And if you're offended, maybe you need to take the lead of the other dude and not show up.
But isn't that like a violation if you go to a roast and are offended because you understand what you're going to and like anything's on the table, right?
That's what I thought, man.
It's definitely a violation. What's up, everybody?
Not allowed to get mad.
What's up, Kev?
What up, Kev?
What's up, guys?
What's up, Kev?
Yeah, like I've never heard of like people getting mad at a roast. Yeah,
the only person I ever seen get mad at a roast was what's the dude? The Situation.
Oh, that's because he got mad because his jokes were terrible. That's different.
He was
the comedian.
Terrible.
It's like that's the weird part. The one person who's allowed to get mad is the comedian, or the person the person who's roasting. Like along those lines, do you guys remember? I can't remember the Doug Williams. Is that his name? They had a roast for Shaq, and this dude was one of the comedians that got up, and his jokes are all trash. And Jamie Foxx started roasting him while he's trying to.
Yes.
Not this. It is not working,
bro. I was just thinking
about doing another job. I am your conscience.
I think that's like the funniest thing, the funniest like re-roast of all time.
Oh yeah. It's famous. It ended the dude's career.
Yeah, that was it.
Because I've heard Jamie talk about it, but I've heard other people like Monique talk about it, other people who were there, they said this dude was an up and coming star in stand up comedy. Like this dude was going places, but he didn't understand. Like they said, I guess he was a little arrogant. He didn't understand when people were trying to give him kind of advice and stuff.
So I don't know if anyone has said anything, but I do stand up from time to time, and I used to do it. Yeah. I just started back like not too long ago. Kind of fell off again just because Christmas time. I usually kind of fall off around Christmas time all the time. But way back early 2000s, we had this club right here in Lakewood called The Hop. Doug comes down and he tries to go Hollywood on the club.
Wait, is this before or after?
This is before that. This is before the incident. That was like the greatest thing I had ever seen. Yeah, that was the greatest thing that I had ever seen because it really did what I did before Jamie actually did it to you. So we're at the Hop and he tries to go big on the club. The club is small, it's local. So you know how small local clubs are. Nobody's in there with the sparklers going. Plus, that wasn't even a thing then. So nobody has the bottles going. Nobody has an area. If there's an open area, you and your homies just take that area. And if it's your birthday, put balloons up and nobody's tripping. It's a really local club, but it is cracking every week. We did comedy. Cat Williams was actually hosting, and that's who started me doing comedy. So Cat says, you're going to go up behind Doug. And I'm like, man, Doug's pro. He's like, man, don't even worry about it. He's probably going to go up there and shit on the club, and then you'll have a bunch of jokes to go behind him. Dude goes up there. He does just that. He shits on the whole club. He talks about some of the, big girls. They had like an area right in the front. He kind of goes in on the big girls right there, which happen to be my homegirls. And he doesn't get like any laughs. And then he kind of just like toward the end, like, fuck y'all country ass hood niggas anyway. I'm out. Right? So I go up behind him and I thrash him for like 20 minutes. When I get off, the crowd loves me. Why? Because a lot of these people are my friends. They know Kev, the local barber right here in Compton. Blase blah. Everything I say is funny. I went to school with some of y'all, so I got some relative jokes. Plus, they're all towards him. Boom. Go to the back room, like to the green room where everybody, where all the comedians are kind of chilling. He wants to fight. Tell him take it outside.
He wants to fight?
Yeah, he wants to fight. That's how hard I go in on. Like he's really that guy.
He's in the wrong business, bro.
Yeah, he really that guy. So we go outside. I tell the security guard, like, I'm not trying to fight this dude, man. I'll clear him out. They take him, put him out. You can't come back to this club no more. And then when that happened, I was like, yeah, see, this is you. This is your life. You suck. His greatest was what? How to Be a Player, maybe? No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't on that. That's the other light-skinned comedian. What's his name? I can't remember.
I know you're talking about. He was the one. He was the one where he had the girl. He had the girl in the crib, and at least Neil showed up to his house.
Yeah, that one. I forget him. They kind of look alike in a sense, or I think that's who he. Like honestly, I think that's who he comes from. Like at that time, a lot of the comedians in the business came from somebody. You know what I mean? Like, that's the person that put you on. So at least that's how I saw it. Like Cat Williams did comedy right here at the Hollywood Park Casino.
I'm looking at his IMDb right here, and he was in.
What's his name again?
Doug Williams. He was in Nutty Professor.
Yeah.
Yo, can I be honest with you? I remember the roast. I'm looking at dude's picture. I don't remember him in that movie.
No, because it wasn't a speaking role. It was a dude with like that's the band that's playing when Eddie Murphy's freaking out.
Oh, the band. Yeah, I still don't.
What I'm telling you is the dude's career never took off. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Like, it was like this is like the first step for all of these comedians. like huge. You think about Chris Rock's first movie role. His first movie role was it either Beverly Hills Cop 2 or was it I'm Gonna Get You Sucker?
No, New Jack City. Before that, he was
no. New Jack City was an actual role. Like I'm talking about in the like 80. Beverly Hills Cop 2 was like 87 or 88. Right. I'm Gonna Get You Sucker might have been 87, and it's basically
Get You Sucker.
Yeah,
like
he walks in.
Yeah, he was.
He walks into the rib shop and he says, "How much for?"
Yeah, how much for a rib?
Ribs, and it's like two. And it's like
$100.
And they say what? Yeah. And they say, "Let me get one." And they say one rack of ribs coming out. Like no, just one rib.
One rib.
And it's like how much?
Sure is hungry.
Yeah. And then after that, he was in Beverly Hills Cop 2, where he played like a valet or something like that, really quick. And Eddie Murphy got him that role because he liked him or whatever. And then after that, New Jack City was like, okay, like an actual movie role. Nah, man, like all these dudes start out as like, man, I told y'all the what's her name? She's not a comedian, but she's a really big actress. She was in Forgetting Sarah Marshall. Kristen, whatever. Her name escapes me. I'm sure one of the listeners will know. She was in Pootie Tang. She played the record executive's daughter in Pootie Tang, like teenage high school daughter.
Oh, damn, that was her.
I'm saying, like, all of these people, they get like small little, and you don't know who they are. And then later they blow up. You don't even remember. You go back and you're watching those movies, like, that's so and so. Samuel L. Jackson as the guy who sticks up the McDowells and Coming to America. Yes. People didn't know who that was.
He's in just everything. He's in any movie you liked at one point in time, no matter what the decade. I promise you, Samuel is in the movie.
Doesn't he have the most movies? Like if you look him up, I think he has the most credits, like of any actor active right now.
He's probably like double the closest person.
Yeah, either him or Eric Roberts. That dude been in a lot of movies too.
I remember Eric Roberts.
And by the way, if you throw in music videos, Eric Roberts has him beat.
Man, I'm your conscience. It is a pleasure. Man, it sure did get hot in here. Am I fucking up right now? I'm your conscience. I really don't need to be up here right now. I don't know what the I was thinking.
Your brother start making money, you can't tell him shit.
Eric Roberts was a white guy in every rap video for like 2 decades. Every white cop, every white lawyer, Eric Roberts. What's Eric Roberts doing? Which is crazy when you think if your sister's Julia Roberts broke, you can't get better gigs than being in the Ja Rule video. To his credit, though, he was also in The Dark Knight. So,
I mean, it's just like if Unique's brother, bro, he can get you to the league. He can't make you a star.
Yeah. I'm not saying a star, just better roles than the Ja Rule video, man.
But
I guess
Ja Rule had the hottest
he found his niche.
That's crazy. This white guy has been
502 acting credits.
Who was that?
Eric Roberts.
Eric.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
My man found his lane.
Samuel
found his lane and stayed there.
He was not there. He's at he is at 177 acting credits.
Nah, no chance. No chance.
107.
That's because Eric Roberts was at a time when in every B HBO movie during like the 90s.
The guy does a lot of work. The guy gets a lot of work.
He does have.
I think 177 is a little low for Samuel L., but I believe Eric Roberts at 500.
I feel like I can name 50 just that I've seen, and I know that I haven't seen every movie he's been in.
But that's the point.
Like he's at the top. Like everyone else, as far as living, I believe.
Hey, you know what? If I'm Eric Roberts, I'm walking around with that screenshot, and I'm showing every woman that I can.
Straight up.
Post that on your IG page real quick.
You know, easy on them.
I mean, he's in a list with like, Mickey Rooney. Like that's the type of actors we're talking about here.
Well, Mickey Rooney though has like a 8,000-year career, right?
I know. That's what I'm saying.
What's the last movie he was in?
Mickey Rooney?
Bullet.
No.
Eric Roberts.
Yeah.
With Tupac.
Eric Roberts, Eric Roberts has more movies in production than most actors actually have on their credits.
Yo, I'm looking at
Look at all the
his 2018 is on fire. This man is hold on. This man is so
amazing.
on fire.
Yo,
this man is so on fire. He's got a list of movies that don't even have years next to them.
Straight to DVD.
No, I'm just saying like they're in production,
post-production, pre-production. Announced, filming, pre-production. Dude, this is insane.
Like, do you think his agent has to pitch anything to him, or does he just have him send it straight to his house?
Just look him up.
Just look him up.
You just taking them.
Hey man, get your money. I'm not mad at you.
We might be able to get. Hey, we might be able to get him for the pod. This man did a movie called Santa's Boot Camp. I'm gonna read y'all some of these.
Go ahead.
My man got all scripts on his iBooks.
Yo, go ahead.
Yo, this man is in a movie called in a video called Fatties Take Down the House. Man was in a movie called Get Naked.
Oh yeah.
This man was in a movie. Oh my God.
He got porn credits, man.
I mean,
he's universal.
That's what I was saying with those HBO ones. I think they were the late nights.
Was it dying?
Yeah, he was in a movie called Fake News.
Oh my God.
Yo, when did we even come out with that term for that to be a movie title? Beverly Hills Bandits.
Taco Shop.
Wild Things in Europe 3D.
And then all of this.
Hashtag Speedball.
Oh my
6
God.
rounds of Chloe. Incredible.
Pups Alone, A Christmas Carol.
This guy's amazing.
And it has only been nominated for 1 Oscar.
It's a tragedy.
I think he's good with that. He good with that nomination.
What
You got that on screenshot too.
For The Dark Knight?
I don't know. Let's see.
By the amount of shots this man puts up, he should at least get at least one more nomination.
Runaway Train in 1985.
Wow.
Oscar nominee in 1986. Best
what's funny?
Supporting role.
I was going to say, like, his biggest role ever must have been Dark Knight, but this nigga played Augustine of Hippo and Let the Lion Roar, so I don't know. He played Dr. Philip Tenenbaum in 2 Bedroom, 1 Bath.
Oh, my
He
Lord.
played Steve in Powdered Donuts.
Oh, my God.
We should definitely get him for the pod.
He'd do it. I heard Ice-T one time say he doesn't turn down anything. Ice-T has a crazy film collection too. I think my favorite Ice-T movie is Surviving the Game. Anybody ever seen that?
Trespass.
That sounds like something that's probably in the $5 bin at Walmart.
What, the Surviving the Game?
Yeah.
It is. That's where I got it. Swear to God.
Nice.
That's exactly where I got it
Nice.
from. The $5 bin at Walmart. And he plays a homeless guy. And it's with Charles S. Dutton. And I think the Eric Roberts dude is in it. No. That's
Directed by Ernest Dickerson.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, shout out to Ernest Dickerson. Yeah, he was the director of photography on Do the Right Thing.
So they take these guys out. They hunt the home. They pick the homeless people up. They take them out to this house in the woods, and then they hunt them. They tell them to get on, and then they hunt them down. Human heads, and they got like this room full of human heads.
I actually saw that joint. Yeah, that joint actually was pretty dope, I think.
It
actually was pretty dope, I think, actually.
Eric Roberts was in a movie called Sharktopus. Played Nathan Sane.
Oh, no. That sounds like pornography.
Yeah. Oh, this is crazy. Like in 2008, by the way, I just now got down to 2008. It took a while.
Wow.
He got this role on Law and Order for an episode. Good shit. Then he was in The Dark Knight. Like, yo, you finally turning it around. And then the next thing he was in is something called Dark Honeymoon, where he played someone named L.A. Guy.
L.A. Guy.
L.A. Guy. They like
number one or number two.
Then he was in Entourage, which played himself in Entourage, before playing himself in Shannon's Rainbow as Mitchell Prescott, or Light Years Away, Dr. Howard Melvin. This is amazing. Like, I haven't even gotten out of the 2000s. I've been scrolling this whole time.
Yeah, this is bananas. Wow, he was in
He was in Wolves of Wall Street. Not Wolf of Wall Street, Wolves of Wall Street. 2002 movie.
Oh, wow.
The prequel.
He was on the Andy Dick show. I didn't even know Andy Dick had a show.
Yep. You remember the Andy Dick
show? How many of these you think he was the second choice for? Or third?
It's pretty much, all of them. It's pretty much his deal.
He was on Oz?
He just come off the bench hot, like the microwave.
If Blank doesn't take it, I
Vinny
will.
Johnson. Instant.
Yo, so Shane Battier's sneaker deal has a clause in it that, like, if any athlete signs a deal with a Chinese sneaker company, I think either with his company or maybe with all of China, that makes him the highest paid, his deal gets one up by $1. Always. I think Eric Roberts has a deal like this where it's like anybody comes through, gets one of these roles, like he's a restricted free agent on every single movie ever.
Does Shane Battier still have that deal?
I don't know.
Shane Battier had a sneaker deal?
Chinese sneaker deal, because he was the first dude to sign a deal in China.
Oh, he was. Oh, I didn't realize he was the first. Yeah. Okay.
Because Yao, that's when Yao was first came to Houston, and Shane Battier was there, and so like all these, like, it was, I think it was Li Ning, but these Chinese sneaker companies were desperate, like, oh, we want to get in this NBA stuff, so that was the only dude that said yes, I guess, or
smart, like, man,
saw enough, yeah.
So have you seen these sneakers?
Shout out to Duke.
I imagine the sneakers having wrinkles like his head.
I do not, because just when you think Trump is awful, you remember Mike Pence. Mike Pence is what happens when Anderson Cooper isn't gay. Mike Pence is also very anti-choice. He thinks abortion is murder, which, first of all, don't knock it till you try it. And when you do try it, really knock it. You know, you gotta get that baby out of there. And yeah, sure, you can groan all you want. I know a lot of you are very anti-abortion, you know, unless it's the one you got for your secret mistress.
Yo, but anyways, I wanted to go back to this White House correspondent dinner thing. We kind of got sidetracked over there. But the idea being that all these people clutching their pearls, man. What did they expect? I don't understand. When they entered that room, what did they expect? Some knock-knock jokes? Like, again, have they never been at one of these things? And then you got all these people on Twitter, and I love this. This is what I love Twitter telling on itself. I love to sit back and watch Twitter. Not Twitter in general, specific people on Twitter. Say one thing, and then in a situation that's pretty much the same circumstances, say something completely different. And I transitioned this by talking about Russell Westbrook and, like, the whole thing with Utah fan yelling something at him, and Russ kind of snapped back at him, and it was funny to see the dude cower in fear.
He backpedaled real quick.
Real quick. Like you could tell, like he lost all the bass in his voice.
It's like, oh shit, he heard me.
Yeah, exactly. It almost reminded me of. Remember when Ron Artest went into the crowd because dude threw the beer at him, and there was it wasn't the guy who actually threw it. It was some dorky kid in the stands who was like, yeah, and then he saw Ron coming and he's like, oh, whoop his ass, even though he didn't actually do anything. It reminded me a lot of that. But then at the end of the game, there's a dude who's trying to film Russ, and Russ tried to slap the phone out of his hand and get that phone out of my face. And then afterward, he gives this press conference about how disrespectful some of the fans are and this, that, and the other.
Russell, there were a couple times where you, coming out of the into the tunnel, you confronted a fan. What happened in those instances?
I don't confront fans. Fans confront me. Here in Utah, man, a lot of disrespectful, vulgar things are said to the players here with these fans. Man, it's truly disrespectful. Talk about your families, your kids. And it's just a disrespect to the game, man. I think it's something that needs to be brought up. And I'm tired of just going out and playing and letting fans say what the hell they want to say. I'm not with that, because if I was on the street, they wouldn't just come up to me and say anything crazy, because I don't play that. So I just think it's disrespectful when they get the chance to do whatever they want to do. It needs to be put to a stop, especially here in Utah.
To which I say, first of all, I agree with Russell Westbrook. Just because you have a ticket to a game doesn't mean you can say all types of outlandish stuff to people and expect no reaction or repercussion. I would also posit that he's probably a little frustrated because he caught an L against a team that he probably thinks he's much better than. But I don't want to talk about the basketball part of it. I just want to stay on all the people who put on their capes and their robes, flying from the rafters to defend Russell Westbrook from these random people entering his space, saying outlandish things. How dare they? Just because they doesn't give them a right to talk reckless to this man, and he can react anyway, and we support him. And again, I'm not talking about Twitter in general. I'm talking about specific people. And I'm looking at him like, oh, word? Oh, now you all for the clapbacks, huh? Okay. Interesting.
Like, I definitely don't think that dude should have had the right to put the phone like directly in his face. But if I'm filming as you walk by for my own personal records, you don't got the right to like really say nothing to me. And I mean, not swing at my phone.
I mean, if you put the phone in somebody's face, bro, like you
put it. No, and I agree with you. No, don't put it in my face. But if I'm right here to the side and I'm still in my space as a ticket holder, which he didn't do that. So that's why I'm saying I kind of agree with him. Like, get the phone out my face and then move on. But all the extra, that was a bit much. You're just mad. He was just really extremely mad that he took that L to that young boy. Like, he really was pissed.
As long as you're not leaning over the rail, I mean, you should be good.
And the thing is, he did all that. Dude did all that. So what? The slapping of the hand and almost losing his phone. That you
good grip though. My man had a good grip.
He had a great grip. It went from fingertips to palm like real quick. I was doing jiu-jitsu or something.
Like I'm definitely of the. I definitely think there's a line that you don't cross as a fan or whatever the case may be. But at the same time, if you want to yell stuff, if you want to cross these lines, you have to be okay with, not okay, but you have to understand what possibly could happen. The player could say something bad. You put the phone in his face, they could probably, you have to understand and just live with the result.
Consequences.
Yes.
Jerv, it's like you know what it's like? It's kind of like if you tweet stuff at a person all the time who's never actually talked to you, like doesn't even know you exist, but you keep coming around and saying crazy things to get a reaction, and then when you get a reaction, my faith in the world has been crushed. Well, how could this happen? Why would Russell Westbrook snap at me like that? There's an old. See, this is how I know, man. I'm old. This is how I know I'm old. Because when I was growing up, there was a saying, and I'm gonna start the saying, and I guarantee every single one of y'all, except maybe Jade, will be able to complete the saying. Saying starts, as the good saying goes, don't start no shit.
Won't be no shit.
Won't be no shit.
Exactly. Don't start no shit, won't be no shit. They made songs about that.
Never heard that one.
You and under 25 Twitter. Never heard that one. And people go to jazz games apparently. Don't start no shit, won't be no shit. Like
you put yourself in a line of fire with and you gotta know the person you're putting yourself in a line of fire with too. That dude, with a dude, like you
that
can't
wasn't
put
Nick
yourself
Collison. That wasn't Nick Collison out there.
Nah, like it's not TJ McConnell walking off, whatever the case may be. This is Russell Westbrook. He's been known to have issues, not issues with fans, but he's not afraid to call a fan out and be like, yo, boy gotta roll. Like he's wilding too much, or you gotta know what you're getting yourself into. But I just want to know when we talk about Utah fans, will this constantly be brought up the same way like everything's brought up with like Philly fans?
We'll see, but that's a funny thing. So I wish we had Steven Jackson on because Steven Jackson was talking about this years ago about how fans in Utah are outrageous in the things they say. It is a bad crowd in Utah. Like that's
my question. Are they so they have that rep?
They have that rep in the league, definitely.
Okay.
They have that rep in the league of like saying crazy, borderline racist thing. I'll tell you the places that like really are known for saying crazy things in basketball.
Right.
In basketball. Utah, Philly, Oklahoma City. Really? Oklahoma City wasn't that the place that the dude wanted to fight Bontemps? Right? Jade, do you remember this?
I do not remember this.
Like it was Bontemps and I think Ethan. It was the 3-1 thing. Man, no one remembers this. There was a dude behind press row who was yelling at the press, and then Tim McMahon had to get up and told him to sit down and he go bust his ass or something like that. But Oklahoma City's definitely on that list again, which adds another level of irony to their whole Russ thing. Like, hold on, man. These people are saying crazy things to Durant, and you did nothing of saying, "Hey guys, let's keep it civil." Crazy things to Durant and his family who were there. And I remember Russ being the champion of everyone keeping a cool head.
That's in-house business.
Yeah, whatever. So anyway, Utah, Oklahoma City, Philly, and then there's another one.
I never heard him talk so much than that rant. I was wondering if it was planted. The question,
yeah.
I mean, the guy's he's a straight up asshole to the media. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. It's both things all at once. Fans are out of hand. He's out of hand.
Dave, my thing is this: I don't care that athlete who's that. He won't be the last. But it is funny to me of all the people who fall over themselves to defend him, no matter what. And he's right in this instant. Other than the whole, your crowd is pretty outlandish too, and you never say anything about that when they're accused of doing those things. But other than that, he was right. But it's funny to me, these people, no matter what, they're going to defend him no matter what. And I'm just looking at it as like, what? It's almost like a hipster thing. Like, yeah, I know he doesn't like me, but I'm going to defend him no matter what, because it's a fetishization, right? It's a fetish. Oh, leave Russ alone. He's different. We've got Bill Cosby. We got the Shaq versus Kenny conversation about filling up your tank halfway. We got we got this nigga here, which is has an Avengers tie-in to it. And we got the hypothetical question: if LeBron James had a sex change and said, "I am now a woman, but I still want to play in the NBA," would the league let him? Which one do you guys want to go with?
Man. Murderous row of subjects, man.
Cosby. By the way, if you're looking for tickets.
Yeah, we probably should have ran that ad earlier, but
I'll cut it in earlier.
Okay. Right.
SeatGeek. Go to SeatGeek. B2B is the promo code. You can get tickets up in Toronto for $152 right now. Section 305, row 15. It's graded at a 7.0. That's a pretty good deal on SeatGeek.
That's a great deal.
If you're looking to go see Game 1 between the Cavaliers and Raptors, people are already counting the Raptors out. I love it. I love it, people. I will just say I have SeatGeek app on my phone. It is the easiest way I found to shop for tickets. It could be anywhere. With just a few taps, can instantly find seats. Saves you time and money by searching multiple ticket sites. Gets you the most bang for your buck by grading every ticket based on value. And every purchase is fully guaranteed, so you can shop with confidence. Again, $20 off your first SeatGeek purchase with the promo code B2B. That is SeatGeek. All right, now more on Bill Cosby. See how I did that?
Oh, that's a great segue. No one's going to think that's kind of weird. More on Bill Cosby as the segue.
Cosby. Yeah, let's do Cosby.
Sure. All right.
Bill.
Okay, so first and foremost, I want to talk about the video of him leaving the courthouse. And Jerv, you've seen this. Jade, if you could send it to Kev, and Will, if they haven't seen it.
I've seen
him leaving the courthouse and then doing this like
the Cosby
little lean back.
It's the dance from the second version of the opening of the Cosby
opening credits. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay.
When they went to the African thing.
Yeah.
The little look back.
Kinda, you know how the Cos would do this thing where he just like look all of a sudden to the side with these wide open eyes, and like with a like it was just like a very sharp. Yeah.
Oh, he just want to show he still got it, man.
But that's that. Okay, so I wanted to know. I wanted to know. Here's the thing: do you guys think, in his mind, he's doing this like, oh man, I'm gonna just hit him with the old Cos and everyone's gonna fall in love again? Or what was that? Or was that like
Bill complete insanity right now?
Yeah. And I think that was like in his mind. I feel like he feel like he's so smart. I'm gonna do this crazy move that I always used to do, and people are gonna think that I'm going crazy, and then they'll look at that and give me less time.
Yeah.
Is he going crazy for real? Is he going crazy for real? I mean,
he's 82?
Something like that.
He could very much well be going crazy.
Or Bill think he OJ.
Oh.
You know, in regards to, if I could just get back to my old ways, just get back to my old ways, everything will be forgiven.
See, that's what I think it is. I think it's a little bit of that. Like, oh man, like they don't forgot lovable Bill.
Yeah,
I'm gonna just hit him with the Cos, and everyone's gonna be like, oh man, you cool.
Nah,
I had this
not with Gloria Allred on your ass.
And forget Gloria Allred, like the whole world, other than
the whole world, but
other than Damon Wayans. Other than Damon Wayans.
Other than Damon Wayans, right.
I'm gonna tell y'all right now, if any of y'all get indicted for like drugging and raping like 40 plus women, like I'm not gonna be the one out there. Be like, if it's one or two, I'll be like, man, that my boy wouldn't do that, man. He's not that kind of guy. 40, I'm out
on this.
Nah,
it's over for you.
Kai's just trying to give y'all. He's just trying to give y'all one last good laugh, man, so everybody can semi remember him.
Jerv, so I didn't know because I shared this in the group chat with my WhatsApp group chat, and then they sent me back the video of him, I guess a year ago, saying the Fat Albert, hey, on his way out the courthouse. And I watched it.
Yo.
Oh,
God, is the guy. The guy.
It's fresh off an appearance of Slate magazine.
That's right, with my fellow eggheads. You already
right
know.
on time to talk about Uncle Bill, man.
Oh man, that's your favorite topic, Wise. Ooh,
Bill Cosby.
Bill
Cosby.
I'm good on Bill Cosby.
Yo,
so good on
Bossa Nova real quick, Jade.
Okay.
Yes, I told Jade about that.
I'm gonna text y'all right.
But yo, he dies in there, right?
And we're back. And we're back. Yes, of course he dies in there. You know, he's done.
Yeah, easy. We were in the shop the other day trying to figure out, like, I think it's minimum 5, maximum 10 per count.
Right.
So you're looking at minimum 15, maximum 30,
now,
and all the numbers in between 15 and 30. So,
check.
All right. And all 3 counts carry. They have to carry the same exact number.
I didn't follow this closely enough, but are there more cases coming?
No, it's just the 3 that all cases were on the 3 counts. So, you know, like I said, when they come to sentencing, it's gonna be 5, 5, and 5, you know, 6, 6, and 6, 7, 7, you know, 10, 10, and 10. Maximum 10, minimum 5. So
look, he's out. He's definitely gonna die in jail. He's not, and by the way, he's not even gonna die like at the end of his term. I've seen this. It's like Paterno. Remember Paterno? As soon as all that stuff happened, like 6 months later, that dude's dead.
He was done.
Yeah, I was saying less than a year again.
The straight, like just being in jail, man. Like especially if you're Bill Cosby, you lived this entire life of everyone loving you and calling you like America's dad and all that stuff, and obviously made a lot of money. And then all of a sudden, you doing 23-hour lockdowns and no part of that where he just, oh, this is cool, I'm good. Like, I'll do the time on my head. That guy's gonna collapse, man. There's nothing left. Nothing left.
He cussed everybody in the courtroom out, didn't he?
Did he?
Did you guys hear that?
Yeah, he had like a blow up. I guess one of the prosecutors was like trying to deny him bail or, you know, like an opportunity to go home.
Or
it was like that he might flee. He has access to a plane, and he said, "Ain't no fucking plane," or something like.
No way.
Yeah.
I don't even own a fucking plane, you asshole.
Wait, hold on. You mean he didn't say? I thought when you said he cussed in court, I thought you meant he said, "Ain't no filthin' foul."
Oh. No, he said real cuss words.
Man, they got Uncle Bill on tape cussing.
Flarn and filth.
No,
that's history right there. I don't think I've ever seen him curse.
Got that joke. There's one other instance of him cussing. According to Eddie Murphy. Bill Cosby told him, "You can't be saying filth and flarn." It's like, what are you talking about? I never say filth and flarn. I've never said those words. No, you know what I mean. The filth and the flarn. He's like, I don't know what you mean. What words are you talking about?
You cannot say fuck in front of people. And I got mad. Because he thought that was my whole act. Like I just walked out on the stage and cursed and left. And I managed to stick in some jokes between the curses. You couldn't give no curse show or walk out and say, "Hey, felt forum, motherfucker, dick, pussy, snot, and shit. Good night. Good night. Suck my dick. Bye-bye." I was pissed off. I was so mad, I called Richard Pryor's house up and said, "Yo, Richard, Bill Cosby just called me up and told me I was too dirty." And Richard said, "The next time motherfucker call, tell him I said suck my dick."
That's so wrong. And then I talked to Richard Pryor, and I told him what happened. He said, Richard Pryor said, tell Bill Cosby to suck my dick. Oh, my God.
And apparently, Quincy Jones, he would have let him.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, boy.
Oh, God. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Right. Yes.
We got to specify for the people who are looking for problems.
Right.
That's not what we're implying. We're just saying he'd be okay with it. He'd be receptive to the idea.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, man. So, I want to transition to this nigga here, because this is a truly this nigga here thing. And now, if you haven't seen it, Jay, can you send it to Will and Kev? It's a dude who's watching Infinity Wars and the credits, and I'm not giving any spoilers away. This is not an Infinity Wars review. I'm merely talking about this nigga here. This dude at the end of Infinity Wars, sobbing. I mean, like a kid, not like quiet tears. I'm like, sobbing at the end of Infinity Wars. And it just, I don't know how many. First of all, how many
what?
How many what? How many of us saw Infinity Wars?
Maybe.
I think that's what he was going to say. I saw it.
Question mark at the end.
All right. You guys got me?
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
back.
there you go.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
Okay, all right.
Hey, Jay, I thought Thanos got you, man.
Yeah, exactly. I just thought I was about to give a spoiler right there. Something was about to happen to me. But anyway, so like I saw it at the Hollywood premiere on Monday, and there was a lady sitting across the aisle from me. When I tell you the entire movie was nothing but reactions by her, over the top reactions to things that did not deserve reactions. Like things that were in the trailer, like when Black Panther first shows up, she's fist pumping like, yes, yes, yes. I'm like, lady, are you surprised that they included, like, did you not know? Did you go into this blind?
I mean, I did do a little like quiet little fist pump on the side when he came in, like, all right, let's go. But I didn't like stand up. Man. Nah, bro. Like, I mean, it was like, oh, let's go. He's like, let's go. It's his time. No, you're not allowed. You're not allowed to get excited to see Black Panther, bro. I didn't stand up and hit him with the move or nothing.
Oh, you ain't do the two arms across the chest.
Nah, like I did like the under the table fist pump, like if you watching a game and like you ain't supposed to be watching the game type fist pump. Like I did like one of them joints, like yeah.
When you're in class,
yeah,
or at work, like,
yeah.
Oh man,
I had to calm
and I get it
down a couple times last night. He kind of did a little too much.
How old is your son?
He's 13. He's 13.
I'll give him a pass. A pass, Kevin. This is why. And the reason why I got so upset about all these people reacting too much to a movie, and mind you, I know I'm a Star Wars fan, and it comes out but I don't do that in the theater. Like we're in the theater, we're here to watch the movie, and then you go outside, you want to reenact stuff, knock yourself out. In the theater, everyone's got to be quiet because we got to hear what's happening, right? But the reason why I'm upset is I got triggered.
He got him again.
It came out, and Black Panther they had a Black Panther, like come take a photo op with him, right? So I'm like, oh, this is perfect. See the line? Line's not even that long. Cool. We wait in that line for an hour. An hour in a line that's not that long. And literally they cut it off right after us. So like one more group ahead of us, we wouldn't even have made it in there. And so we go in the room to take the picture. And I'm just like, why is this taking so long? Just take the picture, get the hell out. I go in there and the group ahead of us was all adults. And these motherfuckers are in there having conversations with the person who's wearing the Black Panther outfit as if he's actually Black Panther. What's the weather like in Wakanda? And oh my God, look, I would watch out. I don't think he's going to I swear to God. On everything.
Nah, yo.
And I got so upset. I said, like, there were people in line out there. They stood for an hour, not going to get in. And you're wasting time here having conversations? Like this, he's not really Black Panther. And it's not like this is a 6-year-old or an 8-year-old.
These are grown-ups.
But these are grown-ups with no kids in their group doing this, man. And I'm just like, it's mad inconsiderate. And by the way, it's pretty fucking dumb. You should have the wherewithal to know that that's not Chadwick Boseman in there. And even if it were Chadwick Boseman, he still doesn't care. That was a job that he did. He got paid to do it. He's not really T'Challa. He's not really the Black Panther because none of this is real, right? And so, like, I fast forward to this lady whooping and hollering in the middle of Avengers, and the end, of course, had her reacting to every single twist and turn. And I'm like, after like the third twist and turn, again, no spoilers, but you kind of figure out, okay, this is what's happening. You can't keep getting surprised that it keeps happening. Again, like, do these people not understand the difference between what's real and what's fake?
No. Not one bit. Not one bit.
No.
You're right about that.
I mean, they want to be in that fantasy completely, just completely and constantly. Some of the Marvel heads, they do go a bit far. I have this one guy who comes in, and every time he comes to get his haircut, he has on a different Marvel shirt.
Well,
like that's all he wears.
I'm not gonna hate on.
But he tries to pull the whole shopping into the conversation. Like, I may ask him one thing, like as a, like just kind of fucking around just to see if he'll try to do it again, and he'll do it, and then he'll try to pull the whole shopping. Like, I've had people walk out like, I'm out on this dude. Like, I'm not.
When you say pull the whole shopping, what is he doing?
Like, he tries to like have conversation and implement everybody. You watch it, you know about it. Like, he tries to get everybody in on the conversation, and of course, naturally, people are gonna, they're gonna start it off. But then when he starts getting like super deep, you can just see people's whole demeanor. Like, are you serious, grown ass dude with this beard? I'm out of here, and they just walk out on me.
So the only thing, I'm a stand up for my man in this regard. Like, I'm a big Star Wars fan. I wear a lot of Star Wars shirts. I got like a Star Wars phone case and all that. And if I'm talking to someone talking about Star Wars, let's say I didn't like The Last Jedi, I'll explain to them like all the things they didn't like or whatever. But my thing is this: like, I don't walk around like. First of all, I don't act up in the theater. That's my main one. Because my thing is like, anything you do in life, you can do whatever you want in life. Movie theater is a sacred place. For 2 hours or however long that movie is, we all shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Just watch the movie. And definitely, like, the idea of crying like somebody died, like a family member died. Come on, man. That's too much.
Wait, Amin, you've never cried in a movie theater before?
It's been a long time for me.
I cried once. Okay, so let's do this topic. Have you ever cried in a movie? Waz, have you ever cried in a movie?
Yes, I cried. Armageddon.
Oh,
I
come
cried.
on.
I cried.
I walked out of that movie.
Armageddon, is that the Bruce Willis joint?
I walked out.
Yeah.
Hey, Wise, I ain't gonna hold you, bro. I'm right there with you on that.
When he said, "I'm never gonna see you walk down the aisle," like, I was like, "Oh shit, damn, this is crazy."
Walked out of that one. Oh, it's a terrible movie.
Jade, have you ever cried?
Terrible?
Yes, I did.
Hold on. What movie you cry in?
Dances with Wolves.
Oh, that movie is terrible. That movie was terrible. I hate Dances with Wolves.
I cried so hard in that movie. I had to look to the wall and tell myself this was only a movie.
Try that.
Wow. Oh man.
Yeah, now I'm like, wow, I can't believe it, man.
By the way, Jade, that Armageddon scene after it was over, like literally the entire movie theater was doing the sniffles thing. It's crazy, dude.
Propaganda, that movie.
Jerv, have you ever cried during a movie?
Process.
Definitely. It was Armageddon 100%.
Come on.
You cried during Armageddon?
100%. Yeah, bruh.
Man.
Yo, listen, man. That he sold me on it, bruh. Like I would say I can watch that and not
100%, 100%, dude.
Yes, bro.
Whole movie theater was in shambles.
Was it like? Is it during the credits that you're crying, or in the movie itself?
The movie itself.
When he does a switcheroo. When he does a switcheroo with Ben Affleck, right?
No,
I wasn't.
I was talking boo-hooing. That's what we're talking.
Nah, I've never boo-hooed.
I never boo-hooed.
And I said this on the never.
Jay, you boo-hooed for Dances with the Wolves or whatever it was.
That's what I'm saying, man. It got to such a point. I told you I had to look to the wall and be like, it's just a movie, man. Just a movie.
Yeah, no.
I'm in so much pain right now because when I laugh, everything.
They can't do this to my Native Americans, man. You know?
Oh God, Dave.
Hey, you're out of your mind.
I'm just being honest. I'm telling you, man. I went alone too. I was there all alone. Yo, by the way, if you go, you should always go to a movie alone because you experience it far more, like personally, whatever. With someone there, having someone with you destroys a movie experience. Yeah.
I agree, actually. I agree with you 100% though on that one.
I've never been to a movie alone.
You got to do it, Kev.
Bro,
it's awesome. I love going to movies.
Kev, I thought the same. Exactly how you reacted was how I reacted, and then I went one time by myself. It's crazy.
Great.
It's the best.
Like
you never want to
like
go
a movie that
again.
a movie that you truly want to see, like something you've been waiting for. You almost better off going to see it by yourself, bro. Not saying you can't go see it more than once, but you owe it to yourself to see it one time by yourself.
Yeah. Because the thing is, I always wanted to do it. I just never had the opportunity.
You know why, Kev? Your companion's going to ask you all these questions. And
millions.
You haven't even finished processing what you just watched, and you got to regurgitate.
You can't even process it.
You know what I'm saying? It's so good.
Something? It's so funny because, like, me and my wife, we're both, like, kind of movie watchers. So when we go to the movies, we don't interact. She doesn't touch me.
That's awesome.
She watches, and I watch. She'll lean
right
love.
there.
If I touch her, she might lean away from me like I'm fucking with her movie. We're probably weird like that, dude. Like we have that.
Nah, bro,
we're so the same that at times, like when we go to movies, we're like not even together. Like,
well, Kev, have you ever cried in a movie?
Not like, of course, not boo-hoo. Jay, not
nobody. All right.
No,
I'm an emotional
person. If I did, I'm not even gonna.
Sniffles.
I'm not gonna. Man, I heard that.
Yeah, man. You still. You still ain't answered the question. You still ain't answered the question, man.
Old Yeller. It was.
Oh my God.
We said in the movies.
No.
We said in the movies. Though.
I definitely cried in class when I saw that, John.
I would say because I had a dog just like Old Yeller, and it kind of died.
Of course.
Movie, I kind of felt some type of way. I found we were playing baseball. My dog was missing for like 2 days. We were playing baseball, and I just happened to be the one to hit it into the bushes. So it was like when it went into these particular bushes, it was your job to go get it. And yeah, I went in the bushes, and there was my dog Penny right there, stiff. So when I saw him,
damn.
Yeah,
wait, you killed your dog with a baseball?
Huh?
Did you kill the dog with the baseball?
Yeah,
No,
just died.
it was already dead.
Oh, I thought the ball hit the dog and then the dog died.
Ran away from the house to die. So she just happened to go in the bushes and, kind of, rigor mortis. And I hit the ball into the bushes, and that's how I found her. Like 2 days after me.
And so Old Yeller was like brought up some old feelings for you?
Like the same kind of dog. And that was, I seen the movie like after that happened, and then it just, it kind of choked me up. Yeah. So, yeah.
Will, you ever cry in a movie?
Hey, I guess I'm probably the only person who's cried recently, man. Because I think Disney Pixar got a headlock on my tear ducts because I cried watching Coco, man.
For real?
My collar was mad wet because when it got to the end, he was singing to his grandma. I was real choked up. Thankfully, I went by myself. I had to sit behind. I had to sit behind. After the credits for a little bit. Make sure my eyes weren't too puffy before I walked out. But I was hurt.
Oh,
that was hurt, man. Hey, and the thing is, every time I hear that little song at the end, man, you know, I get kind of caught up. Like, oh man.
Oh, girl, you sung that yesterday on American Idol. I'm glad you didn't watch that.
Oh. You said she sung it?
Yeah, they had like a whole Disney tribute to American Idol yesterday.
I heard.
Well, when I do watch it, I'm gonna watch it by myself.
I heard that was quite the controversy.
Oh, really?
Wasn't it?
Why? Because they put the one off. I'm not even going to say what, but they put the one off. One that they put off that I heard people were like, "Oh, they shouldn't have went off," and I agree with the "you're out." I was done. I don't want to get into what the one was or is because it may make our followers not like me, but I'm okay with that. But Ada, people were kind of mad that they put Ada off, but I just, I don't.
Somebody wrote to me about it. I can't find it.
And Ada was a guy who was a woman only when it was time to sing.
Okay. Right. Perfect segue for our next subject.
Wait, hold on. Before we move on to the next subject. Hold on. Just hold it there. Hold it right there because I got to say. Oh, you know what? Let's segue. That's right. Let's segue. So, Waz, I'm glad you're here for this because I feel like you got a pretty good answer for this one. The question, as was posed to me in a different group chat, is if LeBron James had a sex change and said, "I am now a woman, but I still want to play in the NBA," would the league allow him?
It's an incredible question.
It's an incredible question.
Yeah, without question. Of course. Of course, because for them, PR-wise, it's like we've got our first woman NBA player. Because, I mean, are there rules against women being in the NBA?
See, no, right? I think there is.
It should be.
I think there is. I think look, you can't play in the league if you're not a guy, right? I mean, that's why they have a separate. That's why they have the WNBA. Exactly. The same thing. Or maybe not. Then I take that back. No, I take that back. Yeah, I take that back because Ann Myers was in training camp.
So there you go.
79 or whatever. We went training camp with the Pacers. So maybe there isn't.
But that was before the WNBA.
That was before the WNBA. That's true.
You have your own league now. You have your own league.
No, yeah, but Kev, come on. Theoretically speaking, the WNBA, first of all, those salaries are super depressed compared to the NBA, obviously, and for all the obvious reasons we don't need to get into. But, like, it doesn't seem right that if somebody could step up in competition and be like, yo, I'm good enough to play in the NBA and earn even more money, that it would make sense that they'd be like, nah. Because this isn't even about, I mean, like, obviously if it was LeBron, he'd just be LeBron, but it would just be a woman now, but it'd still be one of the most dominant players we ever saw.
This is
so I'm talking about, like,
they definitely.
Because I remember Amin told me, he was like, yo, I think Diana Taurasi could play in the NBA. She's just as good as washed up Derek Fisher. I think Diana Taurasi. I'm not saying Diana Taurasi would be like out there balling, but I think she's good enough to be a fringe NBA player. Yeah, like go out there, get shots up, and then like try her best on defense, but probably not do well. Like I think she's good enough to do that.
Yeah, she'd probably be Jose Calderon.
Man, not even.
She probably could take it.
Not even Jose. Like I don't think she'd be Jose. Like I think she would be like if you're talking about like 13th man, like not get a lot of minutes, but be good enough in practice. Nah,
TJ's like a rotational NBA player.
Yeah. You guys are picking guys who are playing. I'm talking about you got to pick someone who doesn't play.
I just wanted y'all to admit to that. That's all. Sorry.
Oh God! Shut up, jerk.
I want to say a name so bad, but I don't want to offend anyone. So nope.
You got to. We could boss it over if it's really offensive. Wow, that's definitely bossa nova. And we're back.
I think women are allowed to play in the league, so he'd be great.
Okay.
She'd be great.
She'd be great.
Lebrana.
Great. So I guess we gotta wait for. No, you gotta pick a completely different name.
Oh, you do.
Yeah, and you can't reference them by their dead name. Or what was? Well, did you guys watch Ricky Gervais' stand up? Did anyone watch Ricky Gervais' stand up?
Not yet.
Oh my god, that guy's funny. A lot of people don't like him, man. I think he's.
I love him.
I like Jervay.
I mean, I had a side this nigga here. Rodney Hood.
Oh,
what happened?
Just had twins. Mm-hmm. He just had twins during the series.
Yeah.
One boy, one girl.
Mm-hmm.
He named the girl Riley, and he named the boy Rich.
Rich?
Rich Hood?
Yes.
Come
on. So when he has to do his SATs and sign his last name first and his first name last.
Hood Rich.
No.
Oh my God. Do it. Kev, do it.
That's it. Rodney Hood, you get we did This Nigga Hood Here award already, but you get the This Nigga Here award for naming your son Rich Hood. He is forever gonna be this nigga. Period. He's always be this little nigga, Rich Hood. Like I hope that he grows up to be rich. For real. Because it's no way.
Yo, hopefully dad don't blow all the money.
Hey, you see what I'm saying? That's where I'm at with it. It's not like he's over here hella paid.
If my dad named me Rich Hood and then we ended up broke by the time I grew up, I would be so salty.
Oh, he's gonna be so salty. I don't see, because them jump shots he's missing in the corner right now, I don't see it lasting much longer. I don't know what's going on in Cleveland, but you need to change it. He missed 3 open corner threes the other night. And I was like, good. Oh, that's off.
Kev, you know what's going on in Cleveland? Moving on to the next round. That's what's going on.
You're right.
That's all that matters. No, but going back to LeBron with the sex change, though.
Yes.
It's like,
Brina,
are we
Brina
now,
James.
Here's a different question. What if let's say not LeBron, because obviously LeBron with a sex change would probably still be very dominant on the NBA level, but like a fringe NBA player or maybe a G League player, they have a sex change. Can they play in the WNBA?
Oh, yeah, the
I
reverse.
think so you know what I think what Amin's action is interesting, because I think as we become more accepting and understanding of trans people in general as a culture, I think people are going to start transitioning to that earlier and earlier in life. And you're going to have a case where somebody who is a trans person will have grown up playing the female sports the entire time. And I think this is something that we're probably going to confront pretty soon here.
I mean, isn't there a trans UFC fighter?
I believe so. I know there's a track athlete.
UFC fighter.
I don't watch that sport.
Is she? No, is she? Is you talking about the girl from Jamaica?
The transgender? No, South Africa.
No, they hadn't figured out. She's not trans.
Yeah.
Or they
just said she had heavy testosterone levels.
Right. They were questioning the testosterone levels, but this is not somebody who's calling themselves a trans person.
Because when she tested, the testosterone levels were high, but it wasn't high enough to be considered HGH.
I mean, like, my thing is, like, is this a question for me to be weighing in on? Like, if the women are fine competing against trans people, like, I think something like MMA, people would be like, well, if we're positing that people who are born male or born with more testosterone or born stronger or whatever, I mean, that's up to the women. No?
Up to the athletes, you mean? Or
up to the athletes.
That has to compete against her.
Right.
I don't know. I feel like, we don't leave anything else up to the athletes. If someone wants to use PEDs, we don't leave that up to the athletes.
Right.
Like the league makes a rule say you can.
I don't think they say anything.
you can and can't. I mean, the league says what you can and can't use, or you can, or basically the league declares eligibility. That's the best way to put it. And so I like that's to me. I think that's an area where I don't know. I'm genuinely asking the question.
You know what's crazy? I mean, I've had this conversation with somebody before, something similar to that, and they were of the mind that there's no, and again, this is radical thinking. They were like, there's no actual scientific basis for the concept that we're just bigger, stronger, whatever than women are.
Really?
Is that we're conditioned to, like, women are disincentivized from like sculpting their bodies and looking really strong and masculine.
I don't know, man. I mean, like, testosterone is a big part of that, and obviously men have more testosterone than women.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, if we condition, if we raise a generation of women to think, you know, going out and getting brolic is completely fine. It's not going to make you less desirable.
Like Amazon, like if you had a bunch of Amazons, but like I think the case would still stand that a woman and a man of like all else being equal in terms of like, you know, genetically sound or whatever. If they began training, the man, due to the excess of testosterone in his system, naturally would be more physically advanced than a woman. And the reason why I put it in those terms is because when you talk about pro athletes, we're not talking about me versus a woman who's working out, right? We're talking about another presumably high caliber athlete, right? I mean, when you put it in that context, like there's physiological things that make men larger physically, right? And obviously women have different traits that make them superior. You know, like for instance, women mature a lot quicker mentally than men do, right? Or should girls before boys do it?
Oh God!
No, I think there's plenty of studies. Right? But the idea is that even a woman, a girl who from inception is sequestered in an environment where all you do is work out and you don't have any body image issues or masculinity, femininity issues or anything like that, would not surpass athletically elite athletes of the same sport, right? So if you had a fetus and it was
I think we get what you're saying. I'm, you know, I'd like to see it play out though. You know what I'm saying? And it's not going to happen in real time for us. It's going to be down the line, man. I think, you know, in 20, 30 years when there are people transitioning, like I said, earlier and earlier, you know, we'll see what the results of this are.
By the way, let me just be clear, because again, we live in an era of people who want to be outraged, that none of us here know anything. We're asking questions. We're trying to learn. If you are upset about what we said and you have,
hit us up and give us some data.
Leave us a voicemail. Explain to us. Give us some data. Don't just call us idiots and, oh, I can't believe. And of course, they all have their tack on in addition to homophobic and misogynistic, also transphobic. Don't do that. If you think we're wrong, and we can't be wrong because we're not even right, we don't even know what we're talking about.
Right.
Some real meaningful feedback to help us, enlighten us.
See, and also, Amin, I think the more interesting question is that if LeBron James had a sex operation or whatever, or declared that they were...
You don't have to have a sex operation.
You don't have to do that. That's not what I meant to say. Just declared that he was now trans and he was a woman. Would the WNBA accept him?
So yeah, so that was the thing I was thinking about when I said a different athlete, because obviously if you're good enough to play in the NBA, why would you ever play in the WNBA?
Right.
But if you weren't good enough to play in the NBA, but you still were physically more dominant than every other WNBA player, would that be acceptable? Would that be allowed? And that was my question. That's why I said, like, someone like, I'm trying to think. Do you guys remember Deron Washington from Virginia Tech, for instance? He's like 6'6" and super athletic and could dunk on everything.
No, I was thinking about the EB dude from LeBron's year.
In the EB?
Yeah.
Or what about Perry Jones or you know?
Yes.
Like guys like that, right? Like if any one of those guys had decided, you know, had come out as transgender, could they play? And then the other thing was also someone like Caitlyn Jenner, who, for instance, like you know, he was an athlete. Bruce Jenner was an athlete. If he had transitioned to become a transgender, could he have competed in the Olympics? In the decathlete on the women's side,
if we just like transported him to 2018.
Yes, if he had happened modern day, right? If it was not an athlete in '76, but if he had competed in the 2016 Olympics, for instance,
they kind of have to let her compete with the women, though.
It'll take a long. It would take a long process because the Olympics. I feel like the Olympic Committee, they're so old school. Like they're really built up of a lot of old people. So I don't think that they're agreeing with like none of this new. Like that's why they're testing all women for, you know, for high levels of testosterone now. That's a test now for the 2020s. And they're outraged about that.
So I guess my next part of that is let's just assume that they weren't. Just assume that they are open-minded and cool about this or whatever. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Caitlyn, right? Caitlyn?
Yeah, Caitlyn Jenner.
Caitlyn Jenner did not is I guess is pre-op an accepted term? I'm
not
Caitlyn
clear.
Jenner, she still has her male genitalia.
And said that she's not removing it, which is very weird to me.
But look, it's not for us to judge whether weird or not. But my question is, does that change that equation? So let's again going back to the. There you go.
Somebody take a bong rip.
Oh, sure.
Gotta trust that process.
Damn it, my bad. I thought I had it still on mute. I'm sorry.
I'm seeing.
Can't be
get right.
I mean, I'm seeing that it says here, Caitlyn Jenner confirms gender reassignment surgery in 2020.
I saw the opposite. I thought the opposite where Caitlyn Jenner said.
The point is that I don't think that's not a consideration though.
But I guess okay. So Caitlyn Jenner aside, all right. If that's the case, then I apologize.
I didn't know. That's news to me.
But I'm just saying the hypothetical.
I didn't know this.
The hypothetical of man comes out as transgender, changes, but keeps genitalia because it happens.
Who's implementing that rule though? I mean, like, yo, you have to do the whole reassignment for us to accept this. Like, basically, when you go in to get a bank loan, they're like, yo, we need proof of income, right? Like, who's doing that? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. This is interesting.
These are the conversations, by the way, I'd love to have in an open space where I'm fully cognizant of my
I'm going to talk to some trans people about this.
I would love if we have any trans listeners.
Please hit us up. Let us.
And now this is genuine curiosity because, like, again, I think a lot of us who are trying to understand this thing that really has come to the forefront, really, for mainstream America very recently. It's hard. Because you don't have anyone to bounce. It's not like, hey, ask a black guy where there are black people everywhere. Like, man, that's on you. You ain't get to know no black people in high school or whatever. Like, I don't think I'm trying to think if I've come into contact with any transgenders, and I don't know. I don't know that I have. So if anyone's got some answers for us, please chime in, leave a voicemail.
that'll do it for Black to Black on a Monday. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Jade. For Amin, for Big Waz, for Will, for Kev the Barber, and for Jerv, thank you for listening, as always. If you want more of this show, for the rest of this show, I should say, you can go to patreon.com/countthedings to get the Monday overflow. As always, we went on for another 30 minutes at least. Took some voice mails and talked Kanye, also talked about some other things. Can't remember. But anyway, it's a good. As always, thank you, and we'll talk to you next week. Peace.
Yo, is there a single actor in Hollywood of any repute who's not involved in Marvel projects some way, shape, or form?
Eric Roberts. That's the beginning of the
Yeah, there it is right there.
Not
yet, man. Not yet.
Well, we got to see the pre-production.